Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an Object 279E. It's the Tier 10 Soviet Premium Reward Tank. It's located on the south spawn, or the attacking spawn, of Erlenberg Assault. I was about to say Karelia Assault, but it's not Karelia. This is Erlenberg. And it's under the command of Awppenheimer. And this is first of a double header featuring the very talented Super Unicum. Okay, he's got a 122mm gun capable of 440 alpha, and it'll penetrate up to 258mm with the standard ammo, and with the heat rounds it goes up to 340, and he's loaded an equal amount of both ammo. Now, what makes this tank so difficult to kill is the armour. It really is quite strong, very impressive. The front of that turret's something like 340mm, so you're not going to get through with standard rounds. You have to use heat, and you have to be good as well. But the other impressive thing about it is the fact that it's got 4 sets of tracks as well, which means that it's much easier to track this thing, but it's also a very, very tough tank to kill. First shot fires in on the 705A, and he gets a pen for 495, it's a high roll. The Conqueror only manages to track him, pulls back out, ricochets off the Conqueror armour, which is surprising, but he's almost ready to shoot again. 8 seconds reload, that's fast for a 122. Fires one in and gets a shot into the Chrysler. Not so impenetrable, those things. In fact, like all premium tanks, over time wargaming nerfs them and makes them much easier to destroy. So what may seem a really easy or very difficult tank to kill rather, will eventually become a very easy kill. Fires one into the top of the turret, but the Conqueror fires one back and all he gets into the tracks. There's basically no low plate to actually pen on this vehicle. You have to go in through the upper plate, and of course it's very difficult to do that. There's another one into the top of the Conqueror's turret. One more shot and that guy could be out of the game. I think it's a 2-shot actually, but he's still pushing forward. There's the Chrysler. Even angling the side of his body does not stop that shell punching its way through the side. And the Chrysler's down, and the Conqueror's down. Looks like somebody across the river was firing them. Oh, now we're tracked by the Lurver, but he's only a tier 8, so he's not going to be able to stop us. And he's got a very vulnerable lower plate. Yeah, look at that, 495 high roll. All he can do back to us is fire HE, and he only got 34 hit points. That's he's out the game as well. There's the E100, punches straight through the lower plate on that one as well. Go through the front of the turret. Now he's angling the turret now to make it more difficult, but he turns the turret towards us. Oh, but that time round he didn't get the pen. He is firing heat now, so he should be able to get through the armour. Oh, that should be an easy one. T-30. Tier 9 American tank destroyer with a 155mm gun. And another 477 off the T-30. He's still firing the heat, but he'd go for the side of the turret. You could get through with standard AP on that one, but there's only a few hit points left on that T-30. He's having a quick look up on the hill next to the lighthouse. Is a Wizzy 1201 GFT, and he fired one in his direction. He fired a heat round as well. He really didn't need to, because you get through the armour on that thing with just the standard AP. Picks the flat spot on the front of the turret. Didn't go through. He shakes his reticule almost in disgust. Yeah, easily going through the Wizzy 120. Potentially he's got the high caliber now. In fact, the funny thing is that that Awppenheimer hasn't really lost any hit points yet. Well, he's lost a couple. He lost some to the Lurver, who fired the HE round at him. And oh, he was about to fire through the muzzle brake of that gun. Ah, now he's lost some hit points. That was the E50. It's got a super accurate gun. The E50 firing down, he went straight in through the side, and well, it was an APCR as well. Oh, took another round, another APCR round. and he manages to block the shot from the E100. That was an AP round. So now he's actually going through the other side of the houses. He's protected from the E50, tries to get the Leopard on the move, but the guy's moving too quickly for him to get the shots in. He's gone back to firing AP because he's run out of the heat. And he's now going back after that Object 705, who's managed to get into this channel and is moving south. Now remember, this is an assault game, so it's only 10 minutes long. And we've got 4 minutes 54 seconds left, so he does need to get towards the cap as soon as the 705 is dead, and he is dead. The Leopard is way over the other side, and at the moment he's hiding on the riverbank. So I think what we need to do is focus on the cap area. Yeah, he tries to get him, but he's not going to get him at this range, especially since he's below the riverbank. So not a lot he can do about that. He either drives over to him and tries to take him out, but if he did that, the E100 would have shots at his rear as he went across the field, and I don't think he really wants to give that guy shots. In fact, the Leopard's come back, realizing that he has to defend the cap. It is after all an assault game, and if they can cap out, they don't need to kill the Leopard. There's the E100. Leopard is obviously the other side of the houses. Only 5 left on the enemy team. Oh, he didn't get that one in either. But the Leopard just tracked Awppenheimer. Yep, lining one up, but he just couldn't get it in time before the Leopard popped below the riverbank again. I think he's just waiting for Awppenheimer to focus on the E100, and then he'll pop up and try and fire a round in. The E100 is more concerned with what's going on. Oh, cheeky one. He popped up to take his shot, but he didn't reckon on Awppenheimer being able to get a snapshot into the top of his turret. Go for it again. Yes, and this time round he got the kill on the Leopard, and the Leopard was only able to track him. But an SU-130 PM across the river manages to slot a round in, a 13cm round, and he managed to get 520 hit points from a heat round. The E100 is now firing heat as well, and he got a whopping 818, making Awppenheimer a one-shot. But the E100 is now out of the game. There's only 3 enemies left. He's potentially got the high caliber. But yes, they're running short on time. The Wizzy 120 goes down to the 60 TP. Awppenheimer's got nearly just under 8k of damage. Oh, just at that moment! The Object 430 drove through his field of view, and I think he's lost the high caliber, and I think he'd be furious about that because he's so wanted. I mean, it's not just about the battle, it's also about winning the medals, and he's now lost the high caliber because of that Object 430 idiot driving through the camera. He's missed the shot on the SU-130 PM, but the SU-130 PM doesn't miss him, and I'm afraid he's out of the game. But that's it, the game's over because they just killed the SU-130 PM. The Wizzy 111 1GFT came up behind him and took him out. And they've won the game, but has he lost the high caliber? Well, we'll have to wait until you've seen the second replay to find out. In the second battle, Awppenheimer's in the Prototipo Standard B, the Tier 9 Italian medium tank. Well, if he's got the top gun, he's got a 105mm auto reloader, capable of 360 alpha, firing standard APCR, and penetrating 268mm of armour. With the heat rounds, he'll go through 330. And he said to the team, I'm going to take the hill. But he's not going to be fully loaded by the time he gets up to the top. He'll only have 2 rounds in the mag by the time he crosses this gap. And oh, the Leo screwed it up for him. He meant to go across, and unfortunately the Leo blocked him just as he was about to go through into the hill. And unfortunately, he's going for a second shot on the Skoda, gets it, pulls back to see if he can get the auto reload. No. So that Leo really screwed it up right at the start of the game. Did a humongous error by trying to go straight and blocking Awppenheimer getting in. And as a consequence, the Leo got wiped out. And Awppenheimer, well, he took a round from the Skoda as a result. But he has taken the hill and he's now reloading. Now this is the Italian version of the Universal Tank for Europe. It's their proposal. You can see it's got quite a high back, which means you've got less gun depression over the rear of this vehicle than over the front. He tries to track the guy, gets the track. Need to do it again. Gets it. Keep that guy tracked and pump rounds into his lower plate. And he's down. Thankfully, somebody was watching and the Panther II finished off the T-28. We've now got an IS-2 moving up. Could probably track this guy too, but he doesn't get the chance there. Wait for it, wait for it. Now, lovely one. Gets a shot in, penetrates the hull, but he got hammer racked and corrected that quickly. And the IS-2 is killed. So he's put his hammer rack in, but he's now actually had to wait down on cooldown for his repair kit. Now, as I said, it's got a 105mm gun, but it's only got 3 shots in the auto reloader. The Progetto 65, the tier 10 Italian medium, does have 4, so it's a lot better. But it is a step up, you could say, from the Progetto 46 in terms of the capability, because as I said, it's a 105mm, not a 90mm. And he's getting easy shots into the Chiri, empties his clip, and leaves the Chiri on a one-shot, which somebody takes advantage of. And lo and behold, it's that Panther II again, the same guy who took out the T-28. Okay, so Awppenheimer's reloading, just popping up there to see about the Tiger II. I think he might have been attracting the attention of the Tiger II, or just seeing if he could get up on that rise to shoot down on him. But he pumps one in through the side, goes for a second one, and he gets the kill. So that's his first kill of the game. He's certainly dominating the hill. He's the only one up here, but nobody else can get in from the enemy team simply because he's blocking them. Every time they try to come around that corner, he tracks them, holds them in place, and then lets somebody else take the kill. Okay, crossing the gap. He might be able to shoot at some of the enemy. Doesn't want to get shot from the hill, but from this position here, oh, look at that. T-29 got the ass of him. Far into the engine bay. Yeah, this guy is going to be... Oh, explosively goes down. But the Borsig was in a position to pump around through that thin armor, and he lost 806 hit points. A high roll to the Borsig. Not good. He's waiting for his third round to go in. He's now positioned such a way that the Borsig can't get a shot. But obviously he's going to have to leave this position eventually, otherwise the enemy will take revenge on him. Can he get that one in? No. The Oho. That's better. And again. Yes. So 750 hit points of damage very, very quickly. Just waiting for the reloads to go back in. Hopefully the Oho won't take advantage of that. Pull her out and try and shoot it round up here whilst he's vulnerable, because he would be a one-shot for the Oho. The Oho's looking up here, but he just can't get his gun to bear. Yeah, he's definitely looking up here. And Awppenheimer with his holding down his right-hand mouse button. If you zoom back out far enough, hold down your mouse button and move around, you can actually see what's going on. You can see where the Oho's looking. And you can see he's looking up at here, hoping that Awppenheimer is going to make a move. The Borsig is in sight. There he is. He's looking away. But misses with the first one. Oh, we got a clean shot on the Arty. Takes him out. Goes for the Borsig again. He's looking this way. Get the flock out of here. Good, he does that. Now you can let the reloads go back in, but the enemy is going down the east side of the hill, so he needs to get some damage. He's going to take out the Waffenträger first, I think. Don't think the Waffenträger knows that he can see him. He's moving over. Now there is the danger in fact, actually the Borsig has died, so he doesn't need to worry about him. There's only 3 left on the enemy team now, and potentially he's got the high caliber. It's just those 3 tanks on the east side of the map. That's it. Everyone else has been killed. He's been asked to platoon with the Panther II, benefited from his shots earlier in the game. Awppenheimer just needs 1 kill, and he's got a brothers in arms if he survives the game, and he can do it now. Yes, beautifully done. And who's next? Well, he could take the MAHOU, but he's going to go for the T43, waiting for the reloads to go in. Oh, the T43 realised, and so did the MAHOU. They both pulled back, but it's not going to help them because there's guys behind them, and there goes the MAHOU. And there's just the T43. Hello! Doesn't get the reload in time, but the T43 on our team is going to take advantage of that one. And Awppenheimer doesn't want to go down the edge because he might die if he hit the bottom hard. But the T43 is dead and it's a victory. But he didn't platoon. Or at least, I don't think he did. And in fact, actually, the Panther 2 died. So he couldn't platoon with him anyway now because he wouldn't get any benefit from it. But let's have a look at the end of battle stats for the first battle and then this battle afterwards. Well, in the first battle, he got a second-class tanker in the Object 279E. He got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. He only got a Confederate medal in that battle. He was on for a high caliber, and you can see that his win 8 was 8781. But it was the Object 430, this guy here, who actually denied him the high caliber because he drove right in front of Awppenheimer just as he was about to shoot the SU-130PM, and he took the round that was meant for the SU-130PM, and that disqualified Awppenheimer from the high caliber. He got 8,239 hit points, easily the highest scorer in the game. And this idiot here, El Garso, and I have to call him an idiot because you don't drive right in front of somebody just as they're aiming at the enemy, they're about to shoot, and you drive in front of them and you're going to get shot instead. If team damage was in the game, that guy would have been out of the game just like that because he would have been ammo racked and destroyed. But as it is, he just denied Awppenheimer a medal, and I feel that's very, very unfortunate, but those are the rules. They put that rule in to try and convince people not to shoot at their teammates because it does disqualify you for a high caliber. But you can see here plainly that yes, Awppenheimer would have got the high caliber, no doubt about it whatsoever, but that idiot in the Object 430 stopped him from getting it. When it came to kills, again he got the highest, but this time around he shared it with the other 430U and the 60TP, all got 3 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, it was only Awppenheimer who was able to get over 1,000 base, 1,253, 911 went to the Object 430U, and 822 went to the 60TP. He fired 34 rounds in that game, got 24 direct hits and 20 penetrations. Damage of 8,239 hit points, of which 1,332 were at more than 300 meters. Those were the shots on the Wizzy 120 at distance and, of course, the Leopard. Whereas most of the action was at close range. He received 18 hits from the enemy in that game, 18, so he would have qualified for a steel wall. 5 penetrations, 12 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. 2,010 hit points of damage blocked by the armour. I say he would have qualified for a steel wall, but for the fact that, of course, he died to the SU-130's gun. If the Object 430 had not driven in front of him, he would have killed the SU-130PM and he would not have died at the end of the game. But because he died, he also missed out on the steel wall. And I suppose you could say that the 430 was indirectly responsible for denying him the steel wall as well. But the fact is that, technically speaking, Awppenheimer might have been able to avoid the shot from the SU-130PM of his own volition, but he didn't. And as a consequence, yes, he did die. So I don't think we're going to lay that one at the blame of the 430, but I think you could say that it would have been easier for Awppenheimer to stay alive if the 430 hadn't done such an absolutely stupid thing of driving straight in front of someone while they're aiming at the enemy. 99,368 credits from the game, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he actually took away a loss of 51,295 credits, and that's all down to the premium rounds that he was firing. He had to fire those rounds because otherwise he wasn't going to get through the armour of the enemy. But there was occasions when he could have shot something like the Wizzy 120 up on top of the hill with just standard ammo, but then you can't switch ammunition when you're facing a heavily armoured tank at one moment and then a lightly armoured tank destroyer the next moment. It's very difficult to keep switching your ammo, especially when you've got an 8-second reload. So yeah, I can understand why he didn't switch, but I certainly would have thought it would have been a good idea to quickly switch to, not quickly switch, but switch after your first shot into the AP, take a second shot and then switch back to the premium rounds after. That's what I do on a lot of my shots, where I'm actually trying to use premium and trying to stop wasting credits on it. But I understand completely why Awppenheimer used all those ammo rounds, because he needed to win the game. He got 7 bonds because this was a tier 10 game, and he also got 1,879 XP times 4 on this occasion, 94 for this being a premium vehicle. You don't get much in the way of premium XP from these 279Es, and 7,612 experience points altogether. So basically he was denied 2 medals, but one of them was entirely the fault of the Object 430, not Awppenheimer's fault, and the other one was because he couldn't block the shot from the SU-130PM. So that's the first battle. Confederate medal is all he comes away with, but he did carry the team. Let's have a look at the second battle in the Prototipo Standard B. Well, that was an ace tanker game. He managed to capture the hill despite the Leo blocking him at the wrong moment, when he could have been wiped out by the enemy if they'd been prepared and put in the right position. If they got into position beforehand, the moment he went past that gap, they would have riddled his rear with holes and he would have been out of the game very quickly. But he managed to get the ace, and it's not the first time he's had an ace tanker in this vehicle, because obviously there's no scrolls underneath, you can see that. He also managed to get a fire effect, a fighter badge, a hand of God, and also a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. And he was down to very little hit in the way of hit points by the end of the game, mostly down to that shot from the Borsig, who managed to plant one in him, which stripped most of his health away in one go. He got a high caliber in that game for dealing the most damage on the enemy, and this time around he also got a Confederate. So yes, nobody blocked his shot in this one, so he gets the high caliber and he gets a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else. 9,664 Super Unicum and quite a lot more on the Win 8. And if we look at the team score, we can see that he was easily the highest scorer at 6,672, the next highest being the VK4502B with 4,235, and after that it's the Skoda T50, which was killed very early on in the game. He got 2,870. Well, he wasn't killed earlier in the game, but he was damaged early on in the game by Awppenheimer. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of kills with 4. The Panther II, who benefited from some of his shots, got 3 kills. And after that, there's the number of tanks with 2 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, he was the only player to get over 1,000 base. 1,468 went to Awppenheimer. 871 was the next highest, and that was the Canadian. And 772 to the T25-2. He fired 24 shots, 22 direct hits, 20 penetrations. Damage of 6,672 hit points, of which 454 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see very little shot at long range. Most of it was close range stuff. He received 5 hits from the enemy. 4 of them penetrated, 1 non-penetration, and 1 hit by way of splash. The Prototipo doesn't have much in the way of armor. If anything hits it, it's more than likely going to go through. You're only going to be lucky if the shot actually hits the tracks rather than actually hitting the body of the tank. But most of the time you're unlucky and the shell straight through the armor. But then it was the universal European tank, so it was supposed to be very light, very thinly armored, but have a really good gun and move very quickly. And that's exactly what the Prototipo Standard B is. He only blocked 130 hit points of damage during the game, and I think one of those shots actually came just as he was trying to get up on top of the hill with the Leo. Spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 12 of the enemy. That means there was only 3 enemy tanks he didn't touch at all during that game, but he killed 4 of them. He also got 711 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 86,388 credits, got 43,194 from personal reserves, so a whopping great total of 129,582 credits. And even though he was up on the hill for a long time, firing a lot of shots, he didn't spend much on ammo, and although he used consumables, he still managed to get 61,780 credits to take away. So I think what you can get from this is that the Standard B does earn credits if you fire the same standard ammo all the time. Of course, as an auto reloader, you can't just sort of like automatically select and go back into premium rounds just like that. You have to empty the machine in order for it to reload on the premium ammo straight away, or you have to select it it to dump all the shells you've got and then start right from scratch. And so most people tend to play the auto reloaders with the same ammo all the way through, unless they're forced to switch because they've run out of one type. He earned 2,202 XP, got the same again from personal reserves, took away 4,404 experience points altogether. So two very good games. Unfortunately, that first one, I think the 279E was spoiled by that Object 430. Really stupid thing for that guy to do. Never drive in front of someone as they're aiming at the enemy. Certainly not if that is the guy that's carrying the team during the battle. You want to let that guy shoot because that's what he's good at doing. Don't drive in front of him and don't block his shots. But a fantastic set of battles, and thanks very much to Awppenheimer for sending them in. I know he's a very busy guy at the moment because obviously he's working very hard. He's not getting that much time to play the game. But thanks to him, we got these replays, and of course I was very happy to do them. And I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please give the video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching.